Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video where today, of course, like you can see in the thumbnail, is going to be about the 4-2-1-3, the most basic formation, the most common formation probably most people will be running into. I'm going to be showcasing you kind of all the tips and tricks, all the secrets, what people like to do in this formation, judging from my experience, of course. So, as you can see, if I could make my way over there to eFootball League. I did grind my way up to number 76 in the world. I'll just try to keep a top 100 finish and kind of just keep it as that. I don't really want to grind this anymore. A lot of scripting going on, as you know. But yeah, gonna go straight into it. So, first of all, first things first, starting for the keeper. Usually people would run offensive keepers, reason being that they obviously have more of a chance, just in case if they do get beaten by the over-the-top through ball, that the keeper automatically will be acting as like a sort of sweeper keeper, unless they're running Neuer, who has that unique player ID, who aggressively comes out. Offensive keepers are going to be the way to go. As you can see, I'm running a full-ish kind of player of the week team, plus this old Patrick Vieira card from who knows how long ago I've got him, plus Bastoni and this Rodri as well, and this Kyle Walker, of course. But other than that, I believe, yep, the whole team is going to be full of player of the week cards. So yeah, that's with the goalkeepers. It's up to you. UCL Allison works, this Ter Stegen works. Any keeper, Czech, Schmeichel, whoever, they're also going to work. Yeah, nothing much to say around the goalkeepers. Okay, and moving on to the defenders here, specifically the center halves, the center backs. Again, the taller the better. Reason being, more leg coverage, more chances to intercept the ball, more chances to obviously win the aerial duels. If it comes down to it, I have Rudiger and Bastoni. They're both pretty good. They're both relatively tall. You can also run Dan Burn, by the way, which I did manage to pull off of my first spin. Pretty nice. Might have to do a little review on them, see how it works out. Saliba is also good, but keep in mind, any form of Saliba card, just a warning that he does get beaten, if I can get my words out right, in the air a lot. Reason being, I mean, as you can see, his jumping it's okay, 85 jumping, but that heading it's 77. So I mean, you could run Saliba maybe in a back five, back three system. It works. I actually think Rijkaard is a bit more solid, but again, it's your opinion. You can run who you want. And moving on to the fullbacks here, Costa Curta and Kyle Walker. You'd notice that they are both defensive fullbacks. What most people run, especially with a 4-2-1-3, especially high up in these division rankings, everybody runs with defensive fullbacks. Reason being that you're just sitting back, basically playing a counter-attacking type of style with your two DMs covering. So effectively, playing with the back six when defending, and when they attack, you're going to be, well, obviously, when you're attacking, if that one makes a bit sense, they're going to be in a back six. And then, obviously, when they're attacking with the forwards, they're also going to be using these front four players here. So essentially, they're going to be running like this. So if I can put it like here, so they're going to be intertwining, kind of making like some sort of weird diamond formation here. Due just spreading it to Mbappe, Griezmann, Salah, and then Rodri and Vieira are going to be sitting back here, sitting a little comfy, because let's say you do mess up a Due or whatever double touch shot, fancy shenanigans are going for. They're going to be sitting there with a big wall with Patty V, with Rijkaard, with Rodri, the long reach tackle Valverde, whoever. They're just going to be sitting there waiting for you, and they're going to intercept it and pick it off and just counter you over and over again. So yeah, that's kind of the gist how it works, especially when they're running with defensive fullbacks. Because if you noticed, if you're running with an offensive fullback, if not, let's say you have two offensive fullbacks here, if they get caught out pushing up super high, you have all this empty space right here on your right side, which is going to be one easy through ball away from their Xavi or Xabi Alonso or their free Guardiola they got from the store or whoever. You know, De Jong, Messi, whichever version of Messi you're running, maybe Hullet, Cole Palmer with that phenomenal pass. One easy through pass away, and they're going to be through. Hence why they're running these defensive fullbacks, just to clarify a little bit. So yeah, that's going to be that. The DMs, it's pretty self-explanatory. Again, the taller the better. Patrick Vieira, Rijkaard, Rodri, whoever you want. You can maybe train up Saliba as a DMF, Dan Burn as a DMF. That also works. I know Marquinhos can play there, I believe. Does he play there? Yeah, Marquinhos can also do a good job. I wouldn't recommend it because he's a bit on the shorter side. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be a DMF. So obviously, there's going to be more than that. I selected a CB for whatever reason. Let me switch it to DMF, see what I have in my team here. Oh, okay. Hold on, a CB and DMF. Okay, here we go. Just DMFs here. You can run Bruno, especially if you want a little bit more offensive pressure. You can have Bruno there and just have defensive instructions on him, which I am going to be going into a little bit more later on in the video. Kimmich, he's also a little bit. I want to say, actually no. Kimmich, he's especially with this type of defensive counter-attack playstyle, you're just wanting to prioritize the defense first. The more taller, the more physical, the more better. Your chances are to withstand, your opponent's attacks. Is I would just recommend a Vieira here, Rodri, Rijkaard, whoever, Fabinho. Well, he hasn't had any special cards in a while now. Goretzka is also pretty nice. Zakaria, his latest new cards version, just whatever coming out. I'm not too sure. I haven't really been catching up on that really, but yeah, that's what we're going to be running in regards to the DMF. So yeah. Okay, and then finally, obviously, what you have here, it is going to be your main attackers, your AMF, your three strikers up top, Mbappe, Salah, and Griezmann up at top. Usually with the strikers, pretty self-explanatory. Just make sure, well, not your strikers, your attack, if I could say. Just make sure they all have double touch, all have at least one touch pass, through passing. Outside curler is pretty essential in my opinion. Reason being, outside curler gives that unique, like, kind of curled through pass animation. Is just very, very powerful, especially when trying to break down, a quick counter user. He's playing this super high line. He's one through pass away from you scoring or banging in a goal. That's pretty much why through passing, in my opinion, is essential. So yeah, pretty much any attacker with double touch, as you can see, Douay, Griezmann, Salah, and Mbappe, they all have double touch. Any attacker, I mean, let's see. This GP Mbappe has it. This Musiala has it. Barella has it. Saka doesn't have it, I don't believe. You can run, obviously, this Cole Palmer, Chiesa, Neymar, Cruyff, Suarez, Bellingham. He can play a role as a AMF. I mean, just anybody with double touch and has a good finishing stat, Hollet as well. Those are you can be rocking in your attack. So yeah, that's going to be pretty much it. Obviously, in this formation as well, you're going to be having some sort of like set piece taker. So in this case, let's see. Oh, not this version, not Kisboot Messi. Believe it's going to be, yeah, let's do this. King of Football Messi. Always have a set piece taker. Just generally, every time you're building a team, you're going to have that one set piece specialist. Everybody has Messi or whichever version of Messi. He's going to be your main set piece taking specialist. And yeah, that is going to be pretty much it. And obviously, you're going to have the players that your tall guys going to be, your target players when taking corners to head the ball into the goal. And obviously, you have your defensive fullbacks sitting there on the counter. So also, with the individual instructions, your DMs, they're going to be set to defensive, and I will show you an example why. Reason being, if your DMs are not set to defensive instructions, what will happen is that they will actually kind of roam a bit too far into the attack, which leaves this big pocket of space wide open for your opponent to exploit. So let's say they're running a 4-2-2, a 4-3-1-2, and they have their whole player attacking midfielders just running into that space, just having a field day. If you get caught on the counter, essentially you're going to be leaving your other DM, in this example Rodri, and it does, defending a 1-2 spam. I'm being attacked by 3 players. Marquinhos, he's trying to run back, but it's already too late, because they're just zipping the ball, pass it through your defense, and then next you know it, you're holding a blitz curl and you're suddenly 1-0 down. So yeah, make sure both of your DMs are on defensive. So without further ado, I'm going to be hopping into a training mode to kind of showcase what I mean, because I know a lot of you guys are more visual learners. You want to see, okay, how does it actually like work in game? And that's what I'm going to be showing you. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Okay, so we're in the training session. Obviously that we don't have another team present available just yet. In this case, it's going to be the England AI. But this is usually how the team is going to be running. As you can see, all my players, they're pretty much going to be sitting back, as you can see, from my Costa Corta all the way to my Kyle Walker sitting all the way down there, because I know their radars can be hard to look at. Kind of an easier visualization. As you can see, the England team is sitting on the sidelines waiting to get some action. But yeah, this is usually how it's going to line up. This is without defensive restrictions on my defensive midfielders. As you can see, Marquinhos, he's being pushed a little bit too far forward, even though he's on DMF, really. So in this case, again, obviously, your priority, you're going to be running defensive instructions, defensive individual instructions on your DMFs. You don't need it for your defensive fullbacks because they're already a defensive fullback. They are not going to push up no matter what. As you can see, this is what's going to happen. Let's say, hypothetically, I'm pushing up with my Costa Curta on the left-hand side. And okay, he's there. Let me just pass it all the way back to Messi. Look at my Costa Curta and look how he's just literally running back to his position. He's a defensive fullback. So his priority, again, as you can see by the in-game, like, I guess, list or the definition of a defensive fullback, he's always going to be dropping back into his usual position. So yeah, this is what you're going to be kind of attacking with. I will show you what defense, as you look at Marquinhos. He's wanting to support the attack. You don't want this, especially in the 4-2-1-3 setup with these two defensive DMs. Usually, again, you're just going to be attacking with these front four here. Messi, in this case, Salah, Griezmann, and Kylian Mbappe, of course. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and quickly show you defensive instructions on both DMFs so you can have a better idea of what I'm trying to say here. Okay, and as you see, I do have both defensive instructions on my Rodri and on my Marquinhos, so I'm going to quickly hop into the training here. If you don't know where to go to the training, if you're kind of new to the game, you just go to extras, you go to training, you go to Dream Team, and you go to free training, you just hit attacking practice right there. That's going to bring you right to where I was previously, just like, I guess, like a minute or wherever you are in the video. Yeah, this is what it's going to look like. So as you see, this is what the team really is going to look like with the defensive instructions on the DMFs. And as you see, Marquinhos, he's not pushing up at all. He wants to be on that defensive duty. Same thing for Rodri. Oh, actually, is he going to peek? No, he's not. He's just going to kind of sit back and just, be on that defensive duty. Because obviously in game, usually they're going to be really, really just conservative, as you see here. They're just not pushing up at all whatsoever in the attack. They're just kind of just occupying these defensive, this DM, I guess, space here where I'm dribbling with Salah at. So obviously, since I'm moving and maneuvering into this space, they're going to be kind of like moving out the way because that's kind of how like the AI works. But usually this is how they're going to be lining up as you can see. Usually Messi's going to be sitting right there. You got Rodri sitting right there. This is just at a total standstill. If I can move down the wing here, you see Kyle Walker. They're both a bit advanced because how far I'm up the pitch. But let's say hypothetically, you're in this position. Let's say for an example, you give it to Marquinhos, you give it to Messi, and Rodri's just sitting right there. This is the ideal spot. I know it was a bit scuffed because I thought Marquinhos was pushing a bit up, but this is usually how it's going to work. Rodri, he's kind of just sitting in that space. Same for Marquinhos. And then you have your three attackers just waiting to get a bit of the action. You got Mbappe, or not Mbappe. I believe that is that? So, is it? Yeah, it is Salah, actually. Just wanting to get a bit on the action. And yeah, this is basically how it's going to work, ideally, with the prime positioning. You can take a look at the radar. The two guys kind of bunch them next up to each other. It is Rodri and Marquinhos. You got your Costa Corta defensive fullback and Kyle Walker as the other defensive fullback on the right hand side. And obviously the two center halves, and they're attacking with this front four. And now you might be wondering, okay, hey, how do I even counter this? This is very frustrating to go up against. They're just attacking with four. They're double touching all over the place. They're passing it, hitting with a double touching. They're spamming shoot, freezing my keeper. I can't handle this. This is very frustrating to go against. And what I would like to say to that is that it is the freest. It is free. Super, super free to just hit dash and press, double press them to death. There's nothing they can do about it. Because hypothetically, let's say you in this case, you can just hold dash and press, cover a passing lane, and just chase them around the field with your whoever. You can have track back on your son, or one of your center midfielders, or your attacking midfielders. and just relentlessly chase them around the field. Because guess what? Let's say you're defending in a 4-2-1-3 yourself. In this case, for a back four, two DMFs, an AMF, and three forwards. So effectively, you're going to be defending in a back six. They're attacking with four. So essentially, you could really just double press freely, for free, with no worries in the world. You can take back your your attacking midfielder. You can manually control one of your DMs and just chase them around the field, and then eventually you'll be able to defend flawlessly every single time, albeit the usual smart assisted over the top through ball that might get you every now and then. But other than that, this is what's really gonna be working, how to really counter these type of players who's running this type of setup with, the 4-2-1-3, two defensive fullbacks, two DMs, Vieira and Rijkaard, let's say, for example, the usual suspects here, maybe Yaya Toure if people spun for him. They're going to be doing that, just sitting back, just sitting in front of their defense, and just being absolutely brick-walled units. So yeah, that is pretty much how it's going to work. That's pretty much how you're going to be also countering this formation as well. I am going to be hopping into like a more practice match just to showcase how it usually works. I'm going to be playing against the England AI, so yeah, I will see you when I have set that up. Okay, so we're in the practice match here against the England AI, and we're going to try to slowly break it down. Not really break it down, but try to get into just close to their box here. So as you can see with Marquinhos, it's a pretty stale formation, just defensive fullbacks. They're not really pushing up at all. You're kind of just waiting for that one little opening. As you can see with Messi, I'm going to take it right here into Mbappe. I'm going to try to play it down the wing if Messi can run into that space, but no. But essentially, this is how it's going to be looking like. You're trying to attack with the front four, and then you're just endlessly trying to find a space. As you can see, obviously, it is the AI. They're going to be, clamping you down. They're going to be locking you up. Nothing really you can do. Almost misplaced that pass there with Roger. But yeah, this is essentially how it's going to be lining up. Obviously, Messi dropping into the midfield to help support with Mbappe. And as you see, there's no options. And if you were to double press and let's say just manually block the other passing lane, there's literally no chance that your opponent, who's running a 4-2-1-3 in this case with this exact same setup, the most popular setup amongst people, high. The more higher you go in the division, especially, the more common you're going to face this type of setup. They're unable to do anything at all. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it's going to look like. Obviously, I'm having a bad time because it's the AI. They can read my inputs. But yeah, there's no space to go through. If I pass it to Mbappe, I immediately not only run to Konsa, but I run into Trent as well. And let's say they can switch on to their Saka. I get double press, and I am forced back to Costa and forced back to recycle the ball again, just to keep possession and recycle it for another day. And yeah. So with that being said, that is going to be kind of a guide to the 4-2-1-3. It's pretty basic, pretty self-explanatory how it kind of works, especially with how the AI, kind of moves and all that, especially with this visual example here. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. So if you did like this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to comment down below what you want to see next. Comment your thoughts on this guide as well, if it helped you out or not. And yeah, I will see you in the next video.